technique I'm about to show you is an old school technique. I use it all the time. Still holds true. It's a plaster of Paris, water, and compound mix, okay? But the hot mixes, there's 5 minute, there's 20 minute, there's 45, there's 60, and there's 90. 90% sure that there's a 60, okay? And I actually have that here. I put them in buckets. I don't keep them in the bags. You can see 20, 45, and 90 there. So I carry them in the truck with me. It has its purpose, and I use it a lot. But again, for this particular application, going on top of painted surfaces, this is the procedure I like to use, okay? Plaster of Paris, water, and compound. It's a little bit more workable. It is able to draw into a non-porous surface slightly better than the hot mixes. All right, and make sure my hat's not going to fall off. As I get my setup here, my hat's going to fall off. Okay, now, as I always say in my other videos, every bucket of mud always needs to be mixed. This bucket was sitting in the back of my truck a little bit, all right? Only a little bit taken out. So we're gonna mix it just to get it back to the consistency that we need. Make sure you always keep your feet tight along the sides of the bucket, you know? We don't want that thing getting loose and spinning. Creates a problem for everybody, and then compound everywhere. We got stucco. Nobody wants stucco. I don't think they do. Yep. All right. I like this. As you can see, this bucket is filled with plaster of Paris. Okay, you can buy it in any store. Big box stores have it. Local lumber yards have it. It's relatively cheap. 25-pound bag. Good to have, always. Part of the arsenal. I'm going to sit to do this because it's much more comfortable. You can kneel if you want, but I don't want to do that. Oh, here we go. Take that sound out. Right? I forget that we can edit. Forget it. Another reason I like to use the hawk, you know, you can mix this in a pan as well. I like to use the hawk. You can see the consistency here. We don't need much. It's probably a little bit too much. Just throw a little bit back in there. And the reason why I'm showing you this quick setting method is typically when we go and do holes like this, repairs like this, we want to do it relatively quickly. We don't want to make 3 trips back, wait for the compound to dry, come back the next day, wait for the compound to dry, come back the next day. We want to do it relatively quickly, right? Maybe probably in under an hour, we can get this ready for paint. So that's our goal. That's why we're using some quick set and stuff. It's kind of cool. Have fun with it. Look what I'm doing here. If you ever baked a pizza, made a pizza, bread, whatever the case may be, same technique. We get it nice and round, okay? Then what we're going to do is, this is how I do it. Make sure you always cover your compound, right? We know that from the other videos. I use a smaller knife. This is a 3-inch knife. And we create a circle or a donut in the center of our compound. Okay? Simple, right? And you got to have fun with this. This is the fun part. Once you create that circle in the middle of the compound, I want you to fill that circle with water. And obviously, only go as high as the compound. Now understand, we are going to add plaster of Paris to this to soak up the water. That's going to start the drying procedure with plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris is simply gypsum that has been dried out. The moisture has been sucked out of it. So once we introduce that water back into it, well, moisture back into the plaster of Paris, it starts the drying procedure. The air hits it, evaporates, and it dries hard. That's the process. We mix it with compound to give us a little bit more of workability. And as you see when I put it on the wall. So we fill the water up just about to the brim. I always have fresh water. I always have it's just a plastic cup, bottle that I carry with me. Make sure the plaster is nice and loose, no chunks, right? You can see it's powder form. Get your hand right in there. And now you're just making a pizza. You're making dough. I want you to go around the perimeter of the donut that you created. I want you to continue doing that until the plaster of Paris absorbs all of the water. Now, the more plaster you put in, let me rephrase, the more water you put in, the more plaster you will need to put in, the faster it's going to dry, okay? So you can, once you understand the process and you've done it over and over and over, repetition, 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 you'll know approximately how much water, how much plaster, and how much compound you need to do a patch. It takes time. You're not going to do it out of the gate. You're going to need to try it a few times, okay? But I promise you this, once you master this and you understand why, you'll know that it works. We got a little quiet there for a minute, huh? Not used to that. Okay, as you can see, we're starting to absorb all of this water. Right? We just literally made. Now look, I'm doing it a lot slower just to show you for teaching purposes, okay? You can do this very fast, all right? You can mix it in a pan. You can mix it on a piece of sheetrock. You can mix it on a piece of plywood. You can mix it in a bowl. You really can. You can mix it in whatever you want. I mix it this way. I've been doing it for forever. Works for me. But mix it. Just don't eat it. I don't want you to eat it unless it's flavored. Still don't eat it. So, oh, put some cinnamon in there. It tastes great. No, it doesn't. I've eaten some compound in my day. You'll eventually start to see the plaster absorb the water. It'll get some little cracking in there, okay? That's perfectly fine. That's what we want. Now we fold it in, just like a pizza pie or baking, right? We had one of the students say, oh, no, it's like baking a cake. Okay, baking a cake, it's great. Now we fold it in and we mix. Now at first, this is going to probably seem a little awkward. Like anything else, like riding a bike, it's always awkward. Take your time with it. Realize what you're doing. Don't rush it. We want you to mix it thoroughly. Chop up that plaster. You make sure that plaster coming out of the bag or the bucket is nice and fine. You don't have any big clumps in it. You know, if you do, break them up. And even so, it's not the end of the world because you're going to mix this pretty good. Once you get it, pretty much the water and the compound all mixed together, then you could start kneading it, right? They call that kneading, like that, just like you're making a pizza. We always got to have food references, right? And what I'm doing here is I'm really just breaking up any, if there is any bits of plaster in there that managed to clump together. Again, I've been doing this a long time. It's really second nature to me. Now, I explained earlier why I like to use this method. So on raw sheetrock, once we put primer and paint on top of that, we create a non-porous barrier, right? It is now sealed. The sheetrock is sealed. Now, sheetrock is porous, so it's made to absorb moisture. Now that it's painted, we have to now penetrate that barrier, okay? And that's where it gets slightly tricky. Folks have asked me, like, hey, whenever I go on painted surfaces, I get these little dimples, I get these little pinholes. What that is the moisture from the material trying to absorb into the surface. And because it has a barrier on it, the barrier is not letting the moisture escape into the surface, okay? I call that drawing in. We want it to draw in, right? The hot muds have a tendency to have less draw than this particular mixture because the glue and the compound likes to draw in, okay? If that makes sense. Now we have our mixture. What we want to do is we're going to take some on our 6-inch knife and we're going to spread it on the perimeter of the hole, okay?